Hey guys, MEP guy here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use Revit like you would use AutoCAD. So for instance, this is what happens when you model in Revit, and to get all this to work, it's going to take a lot of time, and you might have some beginners that are using Revit in your company, and they might not have enough time to create all this and model all this. Now eventually we all hope to get to this level, but realistically it's going to take some time to model this. So this is what it actually looks like in the floor plan. And so what I want to do in this video is I want to show you guys how to use just detail lines to get the line work to show up correctly, like you would in an AutoCAD program, because sometimes we just don't have time and we just need to get the job done. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to get started, and I'm going to go up to the annotate command or tab, and we're going to go to detail line and just click detail line. Now essentially detail line is basically a line in Revit. So we have all these options to draw different detail lines. We have a rectangle here, we have a circle here. Doesn't seem like a lot, but this is more than enough we need to create all this line work right here. Now you're gonna see this line style drop down box, so we'll click that. And out of the box, I'm using the plumbing default template, and out of the box you're going to see these types of lines, and this is just standard. So I'm going to start with this thing called medium lines, and we'll just select that, and I'm going to use this regular line command, and we're just going to draw a line from this point up to this point. And I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to hit escape to end that line command, and as you can see the line weights aren't the same as our piping. So the first thing you're going to want to do probably is you're going to want to set up your line weights correctly. So the way we do that is we're just going to click on the line. I also want to show you guys that the line style actually shows up here, so we could actually go ahead and change this to any line style we want right here. But the one thing we want to do first is we want to go to manage, and we're going to go to additional settings, and I'm going to go up to line styles, and this is essentially your layer properties like in AutoCAD. So I'm going to go to line styles. And right now we're just going to click this little plus, and these are all of our line styles. Now you'll see a couple settings here. We have line weight projection, that's going to be the thickness of our lines. We have line color, which is just going to control the color, and we have line pattern. So it's very simple. Revit makes things pretty simple. There's no like fancy stuff going on here. It's really just your thickness, your color, and your pattern. So right now we started with medium lines, so let's go to medium lines right here, and I want to make them just as thick as our pipe so it looks the same. So I just know that the piping was line weight of 5, so I'm going to click 5, and we can go ahead and change the color. Maybe we want to also make it green, and I'll just keep it at solid, and we can hit apply here. And as you can see, our line has now basically been created to be the same as this sanitary line, so we'll just click OK. Now this line style is now the medium line style. We've changed that, so we want to probably change this to a sanitary line type or something, right? So let's go back to line styles. So let's go to manage, additional settings, line styles, and this time we're going to go to medium lines, and we're just going to go ahead and click new, and I'm going to call this line style, we're going to call it sanitary, and it's a subcategory of lines, which is right here. So I'm going to hit OK, and we're just going to make that 5. We're going to make this that green color, and we're going to keep it at solid and hit OK. Now remember, this was a medium line, but actually we're going to change that now to sanitary. So I'm just going to go down here and go to sanitary, and it should be the same line style. Now if I want to draw another sanitary line, I can do it a couple ways. The easiest way is always going to be to just right click on it, and we're just going to go ahead and create similar. And now we can start to draw another line. So I'm just going to draw a line just like that. Okay, hit escape. Now to connect these lines, just like in AutoCAD, we can use our trim command. So I'm going to use the trim. Well, it's a little different in AutoCAD, but I'm just going to trim this to this. And as you can see, we've now connected these lines. Now, the way Revit does it is a little different. There is no way to chamfer these lines, so that's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to create similar, and I'm going to make a little 45-degree box right here. Hit escape. Now I'm going to hit escape again, and we're going to trim this again. And when you're trimming in Revit, you're always going to want to trim the things you want to keep. So we're going to trim this to this, and then this to this. And now we have a nice 45-degree representing our 245s. What I really love about Revit and working with lines in Revit is when I click on this little chamfer, I can drag it. And when I drag it, actually the lines move with it. So it makes it really fast that I can just quickly get to the size I want by just going like that. Now if I want to move this up, maybe, I can just move it up right here. And again, the lines, since they're connected, are moving with it. Again, if I want to move it to the right, I can just do that right here. Now if I go too far, you'll see Revit kind of gets a little funky and it draws this little thing. But that's not a big problem, so we can just Control Z, and you just have to pay attention. Now if I want to just move this down without messing with my angle here, so I can just select both of those and just move it down just like that. Now what you'll see is when you're working with Revit, things are just working a lot faster. You'll start to realize that drawing using detail lines in Revit is actually way faster than using them in AutoCAD. So I hope I've convinced you guys to use these detail lines already, but let's continue with what we're doing here. So now we got our sanitary, and maybe we want to also create this vent piping. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to go to Manage, and we're going to go to Additional Settings, Line Styles, click on the plus, and we'll go to our sanitary and we'll just hit New. I wish we could duplicate it, but we can't. So I'm going to go to, this one's going to be called Vent. Hit OK. Just want to click on that. And I'm going to make this again 5. We'll make this one a yellow color, maybe darken it up a little bit. And we're going to say OK. And we're going to make this a dash. So I'm going to go to dash, hit OK. And now I'm going to click on this pipe. And we'll just hold Control this time, and we'll just drag it up. And we're going to create a new line here, and then from the drop down I'm going to go ahead and select vent. And look at that, we have a vent line, and we can use this for our drafting. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pull these lines up right here, and let's just pull them up there. And I'm just going to go ahead and move this. The beautiful part about using Revit with line work is the fact that I can just click on a line and move it. I mean, that is going to save you guys so much time when it comes to drafting. You cannot do that kind of stuff in AutoCAD. You have to move it. And then I'm going to right click, we're going to hit Create Similar. And now I'm going to make sure that when I'm connecting lines that the snapping does occur. If it doesn't occur and your lines aren't connected, you're not going to get those really cool functions. So I'm going to snap from this end point, and it's automatic, and then I'm just going to snap to this point right here. Hit Escape. And let's find out what happens when we move our pipe now. So if we move this just like before, if we move it down, Revit is staying at this piece of, and moving along with us. If I move this piece out, you'll see now my lines are connected so that things, still remain connected, so I can make modifications very quickly. So we have our vent and sanitary line work or detail lines created. Let's go ahead and go to our water plan, and we'll double click into this plan. I'm on a sheet, by the way, guys. I just did a video on doing these smart sheet notes. And actually, one thing I want to show you guys before I get started with this is right now we have 5 notes on this sheet. And the cool thing about using the smart sheet notes is I don't need this note number 5 anymore. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. And what you'll see is when I delete it from this note, it's actually going to delete in the schedule up here. So I'm going to just delete it. And you can see it just removed it from my sheet notes up here. So I just think that stuff's kind of cool. So we'll just go ahead and create some detail lines in this view as well. So again, I'm going to go to Manage, Additional Settings, Line Styles. Hit this plus drop down. We're going to do a new line style. We're going to call this one CW for cold water. And I'm going to change the thickness. Maybe I only want to do 4 for my cold water. Use this blue. And we'll go ahead and use I'm just going to use solid for now, but we would want to create a new line style that was looks like a cold water. Maybe I'll do that later, but for now I'm just going to hit OK, and this is going to work. So now let's create our hot water line by going to additional settings, clicking the plus, and you guys can obviously create these ahead of time and use them for every project, but I do want to show you guys just how easy it is to create these lines in Revit. So we're just going to make it red. For now we'll just keep it at solid. And again, all we have to do is, now that we have a line here, we don't have to go to the command again. We can just right click, create similar, and we'll just change CW to hot water right here. And I'm just going to draw this hot water line right here, and we'll just go down right here. Hit escape. So I'm going to go ahead and hide all of the pipes in my project so we don't have to see them anymore. So I've already put these on a view template, so I can go ahead and just go to my water view template. And again guys, I went over all of this stuff in my last video you can check out. Just go to the channel and you'll be able to find this. So we'll go down to pipes and we'll just get rid of all of the pipes here. And we'll also get rid of our plumbing fixtures. Well, maybe we want to show those still. So let's just hit apply, and everything that was 3D should be disappeared. So we'll hit OK, and let's go ahead and remove everything from our sanitary as well. So I'll double click into that view, and I have this on my sanitary view template. So we'll go ahead and hit edit and go to P for pipes. So let's just get rid of all of our pipes. Hit OK, hit OK. And now we just are left with our detail lines, so everything's looking really good. So let's go back to our water plan. Now I'm just going to go ahead and line these up, so we'll just double click into this view, we'll select this guy, we'll just drag them over here. Well, I'm going to use my arrow keys. That's another thing you guys can use is your arrow keys. So I can either use my arrow key to the left from here, and you can see it's jumping, you know, a couple inches or something at each time. If I hold shift, it jumps even further. It jumps 10 steps. And if I'm zoomed out, the steps basically jump according to how I'm zoomed. So now when I hit my arrow key just once, you can see that it's jumping maybe 6 inches. And if I use tab and jump, now it's jumping like, I don't know, 5-6 feet. So it does matter how far zoomed in you are. So you can kind of utilize that for, you know, how far you want the jumps to be. So we'll just do that. That looks about right, just right there. And we'll just go ahead and maybe this time we want to align it. So I'm going to use my modify align command. And I just know that this fixture has a reference plane located here on this little connection. So we can use that to align this pipe right here. Okay, hit escape. Now I want to bring my cold water line. So I'm going to right click, create similar. And as you can see, when we can maybe hover into this location right here. It's not snapping like we want it to, but let's just go from there. And you know, maybe my cold water is above my hot water, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to hit escape, and we want to bring this to this point right here, so we can just drag it up and it aligns perfectly. So that's looking great. Now we would want to break this. Let's say our hot water is below our cold water, so maybe we want to break this piece. So let's go to modify, and we can split element. We cannot split it with a gap, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. I wish they would allow you to do that, but you can go ahead and just split the element. So maybe we just split it right there, hit escape, and now we can select this piece and just drag it over. You know, we don't have to be perfect, but I'm a perfectionist, so let's just do it like that. So, you know, that wasn't perfect. We didn't have any fancy stuff, but we do still have everything looking pretty good. And I like the way that looks, so it looks good. Maybe let's bring our water line a little closer. We'll use our arrow keys again. And I really love using the arrow keys. I think it makes things go a lot faster and look a lot neater. Let's go ahead and finish this plan up. I forgot what this plumbing looks like, so let's go ahead and create a copy of the plumbing plan. Actually, let's just go to our 3D view that we haven't even been using, and I'm just going to click this top button. We'll zoom in right here, and this looks like a floor plan. Looks good enough. Maybe we'll change the detail level to medium, and that should give us what the, you know, a relative idea of what it looks like. So let's say, let's click into this view. It went down in this area right here. So we're just going to select all this. I'm going to use Control, and I'm just going to use my arrow keys again. Escape right there. We're going to align this pipe right here. And then we're just going to select these two right here. And we're just going to drag them down. Something like that. And we're just going to escape right there. Maybe our pipe's going down right here. And we're just going to move that to there. Again, we can just use, our mouse to move that vent piping over. Now we need another sanitary line here, so I'm just going to use my copy command, and we'll just copy from this point. We'll just go to about right there. We'll use our align command. We'll go from this center point to that, and click on our pipe. We want to bring it to about right there. Hit escape, and let's copy one more time. Copy, and this time we'll make sure we hit that point right there. And I can just click on that piece, use the grip, and we'll go to about right there. Now I can use my trim command, or maybe actually I'll just use the regular line. We're gonna right click, create similar, and we'll go from this point. And like I said, things automatically snap for you in a smart way, so that's really nice. We'll escape out of that, use trim, do something like that. And then we need to show that this is going 45 into that piece of pipe. So we'll go to about right here, right click, create similar, and go from that piece to that piece, something like that. And that's looking pretty good. We're going to escape out of that. Just going to pan over. And maybe I want to use my arrow keys to nudge that up a little bit. We'll go ahead and copy this from this point to this point. That looks pretty good. And we can go ahead and also use our mirror command. So we can use the mirror and draw our axis, or mirror and pick an axis. So we'll just draw the axis right here, and we'll mirror it right there. And that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and just use the move command, and we'll move it to here. I don't think that moved correctly, so I'm going to actually just move it with my mouse. So we'll select the piece right there, make sure it snaps, and we can use our arrow keys again to kind of get it to line up perfectly. Use our trim command there to there, and then I'm going to make sure, like I said guys, you actually have to make sure that the lines get connected so they're a little smarter. So right here, that actually shows that it's connecting. And now when I move this vent line and I move it down, you can see everything gets connected. If I didn't do that, so I'm going to hit escape, and before I did that, so I'm going to redo this command. Right here it's not connected, and the way I can tell is if I tab into it, you can see it's not connected. It's not showing me that it's connected. So when I click and I move this, okay, I just lied. I thought it wasn't connected, but apparently it is. Okay, so just yeah, so make sure your lines are connected. Anyway, long story short, now let's just finish this up right here. We're just going to use our trim command, TR, and trim these together. And I think I got just about everything. This is where our pipe's going to go down. This is where it's going to go across. And everything's looking good. Now the last thing I'm going to show you guys is how to use little symbols in your drawings, because we're also going to need to show the pipe down and the pipe up symbols. So let's go ahead and create a symbol real quick. So to create a symbol, let's go to File, New, Family, English Imperial, Annotations, and this is just going to be a generic annotation. Click Open. So I'm just going to make this full screen. So let's just zoom in and create a little annotation. We can just delete this. And I've always told you guys to maybe use text first, but we're just going to go ahead and start creating it. I'm going to use a line, and we're going to use a circle. And this is going to be my little 1/8 of an inch circle. So we'll click right here, click on this, and we're going to go a 1/16 because this is the radius of an inch. and the whole thing should be 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to save this and we're going to load it into the project. So I'm going to go File, Save. We're going to save it as pipe up symbol. For options, we're just going to use one backup. Hit OK, hit Save. And that named it, and that's why I saved it. So we're going to load it into the project and close. Let's go to our sheet. Yep, we're on our sheet. So as you can see, there's already a little symbol loaded in since I loaded it. So we're going to just go ahead and place it. Now I'm not into the view, so I'm going to actually have to hit Escape. And then we have to click into this view. And now the view is active. So we're going to have to go back to Annotate. And we're going to click this little symbol button, okay? And now my symbol shows up because this is the last one I was using. So I'm going to click right here. Now, I forgot to do something with this symbol. So we're going to click on this symbol. We're going to hit Edit Family. I always love when I forget to do something so I can show you guys new techniques. So I actually wanted to make this a masking region. So I'm going to delete this. Well, we can use it as a guide. So we're going to create masking region. And I'm going to go to circle, and I'm just going to click the center point, and we're just going to click a point right there. Now it's asking me what I want for the outside to be, and that category is going to be generic annotations. Now if you want the line work not to show up, we're going to use invisible. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. So we're going to check the box right there, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that line that I had before. So if I pull this out, that's the line. So I'm going to just delete that guy, and we're going to load this back into the project. And I'm going to close. I'm going to go ahead and save it because I do want to update that. And yes, we want to overwrite the existing file. We're going to overwrite the existing in our project as well. And now you can see that this guy is now a masking region. So anytime I go over something, it masks it. Okay, so that's the difference between just using a line and a masking region. So that pipe up symbol looks great, so let's use it again. So we're going to go ahead and copy this guy. And since I used those reference planes in that symbol, you can snap to the center. So I'm going to snap to this floor drain right here, snap to this lavatory right here, and that's looking great. We're going to hit Escape. Now I also want to create a pipe down symbol. So we're just going to use the same one. We're just going to edit the family. I'm going to zoom in. And this time we're going to save it as a new family. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, Family. And instead of pipe up, you probably guessed it, I'm going to use pipe down. And I could use DN maybe for short. And options, we're just going to use one backup, hit OK, hit Save. Now for my pipe down symbol, I'm actually going to edit this masking region. So we're just going to edit the sketch. And I'm just going to basically draw some lines in here, maybe at a 45-degree angle like this. We'll use mirror pick axis, so I'm going to pick this axis right here. Whoop. Select this, pick the axis, like that. We're just going to trim. I'm going to trim to here, trim from here to here. Now I have my little Pac-Man guy. So that's looking good. We'll just finish it right there. And now it's going to mask all of this. Now I forgot to do something. I'm going to click on this. We're going to edit the sketch. Now these lines right here I don't want to show up. So I'm going to hold Control, and we're just going to, under this subcategory, we're going to use invisible lines. And invisible lines basically just don't show up. They're invisible. So I'm going to hit Escape. And see how they look gray, and we're just going to finish that off. Now there's something I would want to do is I want to create a line right here. Now we're not going to worry about that for this project, so I'm just going to load it back in, and you'll see what I mean later. So we have this guy loaded in, so we need to make sure that we are on the right floor plan. So I'm going to double click into this, and I'm going to go back to Annotate, Symbol, and right here I have this guy loaded in. Now what's really cool about the symbols in Revit is when I hit spacebar, I can rotate the symbol. So that is really helpful. Now it doesn't really help me out with the 45-degree angle. So maybe I want to create a symbol that's actually already at 45 degrees. So I don't have to mess with that. So maybe I have one like this and one at 45 degrees. But for now, let's just go ahead and click on this, and we'll just rotate this. And I'm going to go from this point to this point, and something like that. Now, you guys are probably noticing this doesn't look perfect, but like I said, I'm not really worried about that right now. Maybe I'll show you guys at the end. So let's just copy this over, and we'll go to this point right here. That looks good. And we'll just use the mirror command right here, draw an axis, and we'll go from about this point up. Oh, I almost got it. So we can click on that, and we can just literally just move these into place, just like, you know, it's not too hard to just move this into place like that. Maybe we want to use our arrow keys and make it perfect. So that's looking pretty good for this. Let's go to our water plan and do the same thing. So let's just double click into that view. I'm going to click on symbol again, and these should look a little better. So I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to click this point right here, and click this point right here. So everything's looking great. We're pretty much almost done, and like I said, guys, the difference between drawing this and drawing that 3D view, which looked like, let's click on our little isometric thingy, and let's just zoom in. Now, as you can see, drawing this, we'll just move this off to the side, versus drawing these floor plans is a hell of a lot different. So I do recommend, when you guys are, you know, when you're crunched for time and you have to get some work on the plans to show the architect, I'd rather you guys do this and use some line work and then come back later and actually model the plans, because, you know, when it's all said and done, it's about showing the work to the architects so that they can react to it, and you know, you can show everything cleanly, you know, especially if you're new to Revit and you're not understanding how to get all this stuff to look right. I think using line work is actually pretty beneficial. And we haven't even got to using line work for isometric drawings, or using it for drafting views or your details. And again, that's another place where I think Revit shines, and I think it's actually better than AutoCAD by far. I know from experience that when I'm detailing or I'm modeling line work, not modeling, but when I'm drawing line work in Revit, I can do it about 10 times faster than I would in AutoCAD. So I hope this video helped you guys, and I'm going to do some more videos on using detail lines and line work in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and you know, like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I guess dislike the video. But thanks for watching, and have a good weekend. Thanks, guys. Bye.